Okay, so now let's get to the part where it ties in with what you believe, which is, I would say, slightly more controversial. Let me see if I understand this right. That everything we really know about what is going on in our world and all the institutions, like governments, religion, banking, organized crime, they really are all part of a, I guess you'd call it a conspiracy, that reptilians...
Well, I call them interdimensionals.
Okay, but I read what you wrote.
Yeah.
Your words. These reptilians from the constellation Draco have interbred with humans, and they are living amongst us. There are people like the Pope. You talk about George Bush, his father, the president.
Yep.
The royal family in England, Tony Blair. They take human form, but behind closed doors, they can shape-shift back to their reptilian form. I need to know how you know this.
I've been researching this stuff for 20 years.
How can you research it?
I've been to more than 40 countries doing it. This is where the idea of the divine right to rule comes from. The divine right to rule because of what? Because of your bloodline, because of your DNA. This goes right back to the ancient world.
Why do we need reptiles for that? Human beings, are schmucky enough to want to rule over each other.
Listen, you can tell me anything you believe, and I can start taking it apart on the basis of a little chat in front of this place, right?
But
what I'm
authors all
saying
the time summarize their works in television interviews.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
If you look at the ancient world, all over the ancient world, you find the same recurring story of the interbreeding between humans and non-humans, which invariably are depicted in a reptilian form, creating hybrid bloodlines, the bloodline of the gods. And you look at the symbolism of the serpent all over the place, and you put it together with everything else, and people just have to look at the information and decide if they want to believe it.
But why if they have control of everything, why would they reveal themselves with all these serpent clues? What does that benefit them?
Well, they don't reveal themselves, do they? They certainly
haven't. They seem deliberate.
They certainly haven't convinced you, have they? The thing is that...
But you've also talked about getting a message from a spiritual messenger. No?
There are so many aspects to this that people need to know before the apparently ridiculous makes sense.
Didn't you say that you saw the Pope just for a second have his reptilian face?
No, I didn't say that about any Pope, no. I
read that.
The eyes, well, you didn't read it in my book.
I also read you said Chris Christopherson.
No, I didn't say that. I was quoting someone else.
What makes you think Bush is for sure?
Well, not least because of the number of people, ridiculous number of people who have told me over the years that they've seen Father Bush shapeshift many times.
So when they get caught shapeshifting, it's because they can't control that? It comes out every once in a while, like
sometimes,
a tick?
yeah. I mean,
do they ever, like, go for a bug? Again, you were never communicated with by any sort of supernatural entity.
Well,
I don't know why you can't answer that question, yes or no.
I have had great inspirations of knowledge that this is how things are from time to time.
And prophets might describe something like that in a similar language, might they not?
Yes, they might, and they might be right. But I'm not then standing up and saying, the Almighty has spoken to me, this is the truth, you must believe it, otherwise you won't go to heaven, and these will be all the consequences for not believing me. When I started talking about these concepts, I went through just fantastic ridicule. Anyone that is talking about things so different from the norm is going to be ridiculed by reflex action. I mean, I used to be a journalist, mate. I used to be a television presenter. I knew what the bloody consequences were of talking about this stuff. I mean, are you kidding? Whoa, he thinks the world's run by lizards? You have to be true to yourself. And what I do is I let the information guide me, not preconceived idea.
What do you think this world will look like in 500 years, 1,000 years? The same or...?
Oh, very different.
Very different?
Oh, yeah, because the potential for change is massive. And the thing is, how it changes depends on what we do. If you talk about what will the world be 100 years from now, and you specifically talk about religion, I would suggest there will be no religion as we know it.
In 100 years?
Oh, yeah.